We're approaching the end of the year, and that means that many leaders are either contemplating implementing OKR or are already beginning to roll out OKR to parts of their organizations. To those leaders, it's important to note that there are different approaches to rolling out OKR. And while each approach has its pros and cons, there is one approach in particular that's delivering the best results. Regardless of the chosen approach, most companies eventually want to roll out OKR company-wide, and there are different paths to getting there. Let me walk you through some of the main OKR rollout approaches. The first approach is rolling out OKR to your entire organization all at once. This is the kind of big bang rollout that organizations typically go for toward the end of the year. They have the ambition to have the entire organization working with OKR at the start of the new year. Everyone will have to be trained, set up on an OKR software, and start formulating their OKRs. All of this takes place over a relatively short amount of time, and the entire organization will go through this experience at more or less the same time. While this approach is financially the most appealing for an OKR software like Perdoo, it is not the approach that I would recommend when your organization is new to OKR. Implementing OKR is change management, and change is always difficult. Instead, by going for a gradual approach, which I'll come to shortly, you're allowing yourself to experiment, tweak, and improve your OKR program each time you involve the next group of people. I've seen several companies take this approach only to revert the implementation a couple of months or quarters later. That is surely not a great first experience with OKR for your people. And when these companies revert, they typically switch to a gradual top-down rollout approach. So on that note, let's talk about the top-down rollout approach. In this case, you go for a gradual rollout starting from the very top. You're first getting the top leadership fully on board with OKR, and then you go one level down, and then another level until all employees are involved. The major benefit here is that leadership first has the chance to figure out how they want to approach OKR for their entire organization. Once middle management gets involved, they can then further support tailoring the OKR program. At this stage, the fewer people involved, the easier it'll be to make adjustments to the OKR program. And the better you've adjusted the OKR framework to the needs of your business before rolling it out further, the smoother the experience will be for everyone else. When opting for this approach, the entire organization will also see that their managers and leaders take OKR seriously and lead by example, which has proven to be another driver of adoption. Next up, let's talk about the department by department approach. The department by department approach is also a gradual process, but instead, you start with one or a few departments. This department will work with OKR for 1 or 2 quarters in an isolated manner. You're first building a proof of concept with this department before rolling it out to others. The benefit of this approach is again that you can tailor the OKR program to the specific needs of your organization before teams and people get involved. Now let me walk you through the approach that we've seen work best. The best approach to rolling out OKR is a hybrid of the top-down and all-at-once approach. You start from the top, but immediately involve the entire organization by giving them view-only access to your OKR software. Our CEO, Henrik Jan, recently discussed this approach with Ben Lemorte, an OKR consultant and the author of the book Objectives and Key Results, in a podcast. Tune into this episode to learn more via the link shared above and in the description below. Ben has the same observations as us. He believes that this is the best approach to a successful company-wide implementation of OKR. The hybrid model allows everyone to observe what's happening before they're required to play an active role in the organization's OKR program. With Perdoo, we give each person with a view-only license free access to our online OKR course. That way, they can already educate themselves on OKR, helping them better understand what's happening on the Perdoo platform. There are always a number of employees that are excited about OKR and would like to play an active role in your program. Allow them to raise their hands and lead, for example, an objective or a key result. They'll be your ambassadors later on. And such a grassroots approach can be a game changer for how your OKR program succeeds. And if you're wondering what else you should be keeping in mind when implementing OKR, don't forget to check out this video to understand the 7 requirements for a successful OKR implementation.